Chapter 7 to 12. It has been about 6 years since I've been here. Wait, hold on. Why do I just feel a sense of déjà vu? Something about 7 years. It doesn't matter. Anyway, for what happened in the last 6 years. About a month into the training, I got bored of only staying in the training room, so I clear out the trees in the surrounding and bought a big 2-story house that can almost be considered a mansion. To take care of the house and keep it clean, I bought some maid and butler robots to do all the work. There was even an infinite power core used to power all the electricity. Altogether everything costs about 400 million EP. Why does it cost so much? Well, because the house is made of catchin. Only the walls and floors are made to look like a regular expensive house, but behind those walls is a material that is really hard to break. As for training, the first and most of the second year I have mostly been focused on my key control training. It took me only half a year to learn all of what the Crane School got to teach, but North Kai's martial art took me 1.5 years. One of the reasons it took that long was because I only been learning from a book with no one to correct me. I would have tried out the download directly to memory thing, but I already bought the book version and didn't want to waste it. After perfecting my control or getting it as close to perfect as possible, I begin the next phase of my training. Training the body. For that part of the training, I bought the Turtle School martial art. This time though I choose the second option of obtaining the martial art, downloading it straight to my brain, and boy did that hurt. Oracle's comparison of getting something shoved into your head is an understatement. It feels more like there are thousands of big needles poking your head all at once. The only good thing about it is that the pain was fast and disappeared like it never existed. I'm definitely not going to try that again unless I can't help it. Unlike most reincarnation, I am not a masochist, so I'll avoid pain when I can do so. After buying Turtle School martial art, I push the style as much as I can. For 5 days out of the week, I would train until I was close to passing out, then I'll rest and let my healing heal me up before starting the training over again. Again, not a masochist, I'm only doing this until I reach my perfect. After that I'm never doing this again. As for the other 2 days of the week, it was spent doing my key control training. Mostly practicing North Kai's martial art. I wouldn't want my control to drop with my growing ki, especially in the future. The training went well for the next 2 years, but as I was getting close to my semi-perfect form, my training seems to be less and less effective. I even try a long session of training in the max level of gravity and barely manage to make my power go up a little. I asked if Oracle knows something about it, and the reply was, "Host is focusing too much on training. To get the best result, a martial artist must know when to train and when to rest." With no choice, I stopped training for a few days, settle on only warm-ups. With nothing to do, it got boring fast, so I decided to head to the city. Now with Cell being seen as a villain by Earth, I couldn't just go around looking like him, even if this was his body. So instead I bought a new magic from the shop. It's just a basic shape-shifting magic. With it, I can go around town without scaring everyone or have a Z fighter suddenly showing up and trying to kill me. Though I should try to solve that problem somehow. I don't want to have to fight my heroes to death because of a misunderstanding. Also, since I am not using my key much anymore, I start up the key to EP auto conversion again. This time leaving only 1 million PL for me to use. It should be more than enough for normal problems and allow me some time to turn the conversion off if bigger trouble appears. For the next year, I was just traveling around the world sightseeing. I managed to find Capsule Crop and Corin Tower, but I have no plan of getting close unless something happens. Right now I'm not powerful enough to protect myself if they decided that I'm a bad guy and try to kill me. I also managed to find a Dragon Ball, the 1-star dragon to be exact. It was thanks to pure luck that I was able to find it, but since I don't have the Dragon Radar and I have the system store, I didn't try to look for the rest of the Dragon Ball. I still kept the Dragon Ball I found though. I brought a frame so I can hang it on the wall when I get home. Near the end of my journey around the Earth, I found Satan City. I didn't notice it, but it was actually near where I settled down. Since I went the opposite direction first, I failed to notice it. During my stay in the city, I found Orange Star High School, where Gohan will be going to in the future. I decided that I would also attend the school to at least finish my general ed. The more important reason is because of Gohan. Only God knows how many fans are crying out for Gohan to stop being so embarrassing. So I'm going to help him at least look decent when being a hero. But first I went back to training. I'll attend the school when I achieve my perfect form so I don't have to keep the shape-shifting magic on all the time. Getting back to my house, I went inside my training room and checked my EP. What I saw was a whopping 124,420,000,000 EP, seeing that I stopped my ki to EP conversion. As soon as I did a bright flash around my body, and when it stops, I can see that my body turns into its semi-perfect form. Quickly checking my stats, it shows up as Name, Seru Ken. System name, Oracle. Race, Frost Demon, Scion, Namekian, Human. Sex, Male. Age, 16. Power level, 510 million. Zenkai, 0. Skill. Magic, Telekinesis, Energy Absorption, Shapeshifting. Traits. It seems that my PL went over 500 million when I was exploring, but I didn't evolve because it was suppressed. Still, I'm not going to argue with it if I can get stronger by having fun. Now that I achieved the semi-perfect form, it's time to start the next phase of the training, and since I have enough EP, I bought the Tier 3 gravity attachment. Unlike training in my first form, training in my semi-perfect form is a lot easier. I was able to get stronger quicker, and fighting seemed to come more naturally to me. I was able to understand the fighting style better and was even able to pick up on things I missed before. Because of this, I spend the first week after getting used to the form and going over everything I learned. When that is finished, I start my training again. After the first month, I was able to get from 500 million to 600 million PL before I start slowing down again. Unlike before though, this time I went out and visit Satan City again for a day or two, just having fun. I went around as a 14 to 15 years old version of myself, since I want to start school in less than 2 years. I also want to see if I can get to know some people here first. It didn't work out so well because people keep asking me about my parents and things like that. So to stop that, I create a clone when no one is looking and have it shape-shift into an adult me. Since I'm already pretending to be living in the city, I decide to buy a house here too. With the money I got from Oracle, 1 EP equals 1000 zeni. After getting the house, I dispel my clone and found out that I actually receive its memory. I hit my forehead for being stupid and not checking it out first. I create 2 clones, have them stay in the city, and went back to my training. I want to see if I can exploit this like Naruto. The first thing I did was try to see how many clones I can summon. The max seems to be about 80, counting the 2 in the city. Also, with every clone summon seemed to be weaker than the previous one by 1%, with the last being 0% and dispelling immediately. After using the clone for a while, I was able to feel a small increase in my technique, but my PL didn't change much. It seems like I can only improve my technique and maybe key control with it, not my PL. It makes sense though, as to improve your PL you need to train your body, and the clone are just that, clone. Still, it's a good thing to have, and I was a little angry at myself that I didn't use it earlier. It would have been so helpful at the beginning. My training and visit to the city went on for 1.5 more years before I was able to get to 1 billion PL and unlock my perfect form, but more importantly my base form. I have loose black hair along with a face that, while it wouldn't be called handsome, it still looks above average. Like Cell, my eyes are a pinkish red color. As for my body, I have a lean build that makes me seem like less of a fighter and more of an athlete. Now that I'm able to be me again, I decided to celebrate by going around Satan City and eat as many buffets out of business as possible. But before I can even get started, I suggest host put on some clothes before going out to a human city. I pause at that before looking down at my body. Crap. I forgot that Cell doesn't wear any clothes, he just has his natural exoskeleton. Thanks for the reminder, Oracle. I said as I grabbed the indestructible clothes I got years before and put them on. The clothes look plain, just like their name stated. Just a simple gray shirt and dark blue jeans. Still, with clothes on, I head for the city to go on my buffet feast. That being 6 different buffets before all other buffets blacklist me and I have to stop. Stop and shapeshift into a different person to continue beaming face with smiling eyes. Due to my generator, I don't really need to eat, but I still want to enjoy it. Of course, due to the same reason, I can eat as much as I want and not feel anything different. After that day, a legend was born. A legend about a group of people with a bottomless stomach that can eat anything you throw at them. Still, I don't want people going out of business for real, so I found every owner of the buffet I went to and donate enough money for them to continue their work. Well, almost every owner. I didn't donate to the people whose food I didn't like. After that happened, I went back to my training room to find out the difference between my base form and my perfect form. After testing, there doesn't seem to be any different aside from my base form looking different and being 10 times weaker like Rai said. Despite that, I asked, Oracle, is there a difference between my 2 forms I didn't see? Yes, host will be able to access different transformation based on the different forms that host takes. Hearing that I can access different from got me excited because that can only mean one thing. I excitedly ask, are you saying that I can turn Super Saiyan? Yes, host will be able to turn Super Saiyan as his base form is close to a Saiyan and host have Saiyan DNA. Oracle confirming it only served to make me more excited. I mean, who doesn't want to turn into a Super Saiyan? So I went ahead and tried to transform, only to find out that it didn't work. Oracle, what going on? Why didn't it work? Since host only unlocks his base form, host needs to wait about 1 year for host to get enough S-cell to transform by himself. Otherwise host will need an outside source to help. That means I won't be able to transform for a year as nothing will happen until then. Unless I go create trouble with the Z fighter. Nope, not doing that. Don't want a group that always been known to use Deus Ex Machina to be coming after me. Oracle, you said different transformation. So does that mean I can use my perfect cell form to achieve something like Golden Frieza? Yes, but due to host's situation and personality. Host will have to achieve it by a different mean. Different mean? How? Creator have restricted the information until host is ready. Restrict? Damn it, Rai, just when I thought I can become OP you have to go and knock me down. Sigh, whatever, I just hope I can find out what it is before the Tournament of Power. With nothing to do anymore as I couldn't access any of the transformations, I went back to training. I trained for another month, managing to more than double my PL during that time, and I wasn't even doing any harsh training. The difference in talent and potential of my perfect form and imperfect form was so big that it's like comparing base Yamcha to Ultra Instant Goku. With another sigh, I left my forest house and went to the city to sign up for school. I went and enrolled at Orange Star High School. Despite being 17, I enrolled in 10th grade. It wasn't complicated as I thought to try to enroll, as I can be said to have lived in this city for a year now, and with my clone transformed dad/money from Oracle, it was easy to get in. As for Gohan, he should start school at age 16 or 17 in 11th grade, so I have to wait a year before Gohan come here. In the meantime, I'll try to catch up on the school work that I missed during my years of training and wandering around the earth. It shouldn't be too hard with my talent. I was right about it not being hard to catch up on school. Though I did cheat and bought a magic called eidetic memory. It basically works like photographic memory. When I use it, I'll be able to remember everything I do or see. It's not considered a good magic spell as it uses a lot of energy to activate and maintain, but that wasn't a problem for me as I have unlimited energy. That spell along with my clone, I managed to finish all the school work that I miss, including the new subject from this world, in less than a week. I didn't just do it for the material that I missed, I also went ahead and learned everything that they were going to teach at my new school. By this point, I can just go and complete my general ed, but that's not the point of me going to school in the first place. After going to school for a few days, I realized that I shouldn't have studied that far ahead in school. Now school became boring as I knew everything already. So I usually just send a clone to school for me and spend the rest of my time training or relaxing. But even that gets boring after a while now, as I don't have any goal to reach for when training. Is this why Goku keeps his enemy alive? So that he can continue to train and battle? If so, I can totally see why he does it now. Not that I'm going to let someone like Frieza live if I ever fight them. Life went on like this for the first half of the school year. At the start of the second half of the year, right after winter break, as I was walking to school, I happened to see a cute girl with twin tails surrounded by 3 thugs. On the girl's shirt, I can see the star badge of our school. Seeing as she is from the same school, I decided that I should help her. Not that I wouldn't if she isn't. At least that's what I thought until she went ahead and beat up all 3 thugs in less than a minute. From her graceful movement, I can tell that she practices martial arts, but I don't sense any ki. When she's done beating everyone up, she looks up at me straight in my eyes. Time seemed to slow down as we look at each other. It's then that I knew I fell for her. I was lost in the moment until the girl spoke up. Are you one of them too? She questioned. Breaking out of my stupor, I saw that instead of looking at me, she was glaring at me. A little embarrassed, I reply, and no, I thought you might have needed help, but I can see that you didn't. Ha! She glares at me some more as if she doesn't believe it. Really, I'm not with them. I show her my badge. See, we go to the same school. I saw your badge and thought you might need help getting to school on time. I quickly try to explain. Right. She replies, seemingly okay with the explanation but doesn't seem to completely believe it. Then you should hurry up so you aren't late yourself, she continues. Then she turns around to leave. Seeing her leave, I yell, wait, quickly catching up to her I ask, can I walk to school with you? But she did reply and just continue walking. Taking that as a yes, I continue to walk with her in awkward silence. After a while, I realize that we still haven't introduced ourselves yet. Ah, where are my manners? My name is Seru Ken. What's your name? She turns and looks at me for a second as if studying me, before turning around and saying, Videl. Hearing that make me pause in my step. Feeling that I stop, Videl turns around to check what happens. Seru, she questioned. You wouldn't happen to be Mr. Satan's daughter, would you? Yes, I am. Is there a problem? Videl said, it sounds more like a demand than a question, but I didn't hear it as I was in my own thought after hearing yes. Of course she's Videl. A teenage girl with twin tails going to Orange Star High School that also know martial art. Why didn't I realize it sooner? Sigh, and I just have to fall for her too. What am I going to do now? Do I go after her or not? I mean she's meant to end up with. I stop my thought as I hear a clap in front of me. Are you okay? Videl asks. Huh? Oh, yes I'm okay. I was just surprised that Mr. Satan's daughter is attending the same school as me. I quickly made up a lie. Well, come on Seru. Looks like you might be the one that needs help getting to school on time. Videl smirked and left. Watching her walk away, I thought to myself, yup, I'm totally going after her. If I still can't get her to fall for me before she falls for Gohan, I'll give up. But until then, I'll give it all I got. Looks like school won't be so boring anymore. Hey! Wait up! I call and ran after her. When we got to school I was surprised to find that we're in the same class. Seems like I need to pay more attention to my surrounding. Don't want to have such an obvious weakness for an enemy to exploit. As for Videl, it seems she is also surprised to find that I'm in her class too. Well, what do you know? We are in the same class. I said, trying to start a conversation. Was all she said before going to sit down next to her friend. Sigh, I guess I should stop for now and try again after class. I thought as I made my way to sit next to her. Or not. As I sit down she looks over and frowns a little, but I just smile at her. So, are you going to introduce me to your friend? I ask as her frown deepen. Seeing me, her friends smile and ask, so Videl, who's this cute boy here, making me blush a little. I couldn't help it as this is the first time a girl call me cute. I really need to get out more if this is enough to make me embarrassed. Seeing as Videl is not going to introduce us, I reached my hand over and said, Hi, I'm Ken, Seru Ken. Well Ken, you can call me Erasa. Erasa replied as she shook my hand. She really is straightforward. I thought the Japanese only call the people they are close to by their first name. Or it could just be cultural differences from different multiverse. So how long have you known Videl? I try to continue the conversion and it works as we continue our talk even after the teacher comes in and start class. As we talk, Erasa succeeds in getting Videl to talk too. Only if she's just cutting in to correct Erasa so Erasa doesn't spread rumors about her around. At some point in the conversion sharpener, one of the guys in their group of friends joins in so I got introduced to him too. He doesn't seem to like me very much and I think he can tell that I'm trying to get Videl's attention. That's probably why he didn't like me, he should be trying to do the same too. After school is over, I walk with Videl and her group of friends. Slowly everyone left one by one until it just me and Videl left. At this point, Videl turns to me and asks, well more like demand, what do you want? I don't believe that you just want to hang out with some people you just met. I just smile at her again, well, there are many things I want but right I want to have a match against you. If you are just looking to get beat up then didn't have to follow me around all day. You could just ask. Videl. There are other things I want too but you shouldn't be so quick to think you can win every fight. I seen you fight this morning and I can say that you won't be able to beat me. I taunt her. If you want to get beat up so bad then just say the time and place. Videl said angrily thinking that I'm belittling her. Which I kind of is. How about this Friday after school? As for the place, do you have anywhere we can fight? Fine. We will be fighting at one of the dojos that Dad doesn't use anymore. Goodbye. Videl said as she leaves. I smile wider as I watch her leave. I should stop smiling like this. Might make others think I'm a creep. At least I succeeded in getting her attention. I hope I don't mess things up after the fight. After Videl disappears, I finally turn and head back to my own house in the city. 4 days later when we are heading to one of Vidal Dad's dojo, her group of friends is also following us. Sometime during the week they heard about the fight and wanted to watch. You sure you want to do this? You can quit now and no one will say anything. Sharpener said mockingly when we reached the dojo. Of course, I've been doing martial arts ever since I was born after all. I said exaggeratedly. Though it's kind of true as I've been training ever since I became Cell. Are you sure you'll be okay? Vidal is super strong. Erasa said a little worried. Ha, don't worry. I know how strong Vidal is. About 50 to 100 PL, I thought, not telling them. I jump into a mat in the middle of the room closely followed by Vidal. Shall we go over the rules first? I ask Vidal. Sure, since you're the challenger I'll make the rules. First rule, whoever get knocked out of the mat, lost conscious or surrender losses. Second rule, no moves that permanently disable the other person, and lastly the loser has to do one thing that the winner says. Vidal said, smirking at the last one. That is unless you are too scared you might lose and give up now. No, I good. Let's get started. I reply smiling confidently while thinking, I just wanted to get your attention using this fight but getting an addition is good too. Seeing my smile Vidal frowned and said, I'm going to wipe that confident smile off your face. Well then, come on. I have been ready for a while now, I said back making her angrier. Getting confirmation that I'm ready, Vidal rushed at me sending a flying kick straight at my face which is slow from my point of view. I gracefully dodged to the side making her fly past me. I taunt her, come on, I thought you are better than that. You can't just attack like that when your opponent is paying attention to you. You at least need to do a quick follow-up attack otherwise I could have had easily took the chance to kick you out of the mat. Getting angrier at my comment Vidal rushed me again but this time she sends a right punch at my face to which I lean to the side a little. Then she quickly follows up with a right kick toward my head again. I easily dodge by ducking down but as soon as her right leg touches the ground, her left leg kicks out. I dodge by jumping back to create a little distance. Wow, that was close. You almost got me there. I taunt her again. Arg, Vidal screams as she rushes me again. This time with a combo of moves at my face again finishing with one of her signature move eagle kick before trying to hit me again afterward. Of course, I easily dodged those two considering our PL difference. Do you have something against my face or something cause you've been trying to hit my face for a while now, I said casually during while dodging. Arg. Vidal screams again as she jumps back. Would you stop dodging and attack already, this is supposed to be a fight. Well, if you said so. I reply as I move toward her in a speed that her eyes can't follow making not just her but everyone's eye go wide as I suddenly appear behind Vidal. You owe me a favor now. I said surprising her but before she can turn around, I knock her out. All her friends' jaws drop at that because they know how powerful she is. You might want to close your mouth otherwise you might swallow a fly. I said toward them breaking them out of their shock. As they did so, they start bombarding me with questions such as how am I so strong and how did I move so fast. With even Sharpener joining in on the questioning seemingly forgotten that he was supposed to dislike me. I answer their questions as best as I can without telling them about Key while waiting for Vidal to wake up. When Vidal wakes up, she looks confused for a second before remembering what happened and dejectedly said, I lost. Seeing her like that, her friends try to cheer her up. Walking up to them I reach out my hand to Vidal. She looks at it for a second before taking it and standing up. How are you so strong? Vidal asks. Mostly it's because I train, but if you want to know more you'll have to do something that I said first. I said smirking making Vidal glare at me. What is it? Vidal asks grumpily. I want you to go on a date with me. What? Everyone said surprise at my request. Vidal thinks about it for a bit before replying okay, but only if you tell me the secret on how you become so strong afterward, surprising everyone even more including me as I didn't think she would agree. Feeling everyone's surprise stare at her, Vidal blushed and said, what? I lost so I'm just keeping up my end of the deal. Breaking out of my surprise I answer, sure, I'll pick you up tomorrow at noon, to which Vidal just nod. I smile at her, see you tomorrow then, before saying goodbye to everyone and thinking, YSSS. As I leave I could hear Erasa teasing Vidal about the date and dragging her away from the boys. The next day, I got ready for the date with Vidal. I bought a nice looking indestructible dark green suit from Oracle. I also brought an indestructible bracelet and put my teleportation seal on the inside. As it was approaching noon, I remember that I didn't ask Vidal where to meet or where she lives, so I feel her key out to find her location. Locking onto her key, I fly toward her location, which is the same dojo that we were at yesterday. After landing around the corner, I put a teleportation mark on the side of the building in case I need it, then I walk out and head toward Vidal. Sorry to make you wait. I forgot to ask where to meet yesterday due to my excitement, haha. I said, a bit embarrassed. It's okay, I just got here too. So what are we doing today? Vidal asks. Well, I don't really know. I was thinking we could go see a movie. I thought we would be doing something a little more exciting. Vidal. We could if you want to. This is my first time on a date, so I can't really think of much to do. I admit, a little more embarrassed than before. Really? Well, it's okay. Let's just go see a movie. Vidal said, sounding a little happier than before. I nodded and reach out my hand, to which she takes. I figure that she would like action movies more than romance with her personality, so I took us to a martial arts movie I look up before. It's supposed to be a popular movie that just came out today and the ticket already been sold out. Of course, that wasn't a problem for me as I have Oracle and brought 2 tickets already. After watching the movie, I can safely say that it has some of the worst fight scenes I ever saw. The only thing I can think of that is worst is the video of Mr. Satan beating Cell. Though Vidal seems to enjoy the movie. Maybe I'm just comparing it too much to real-life martial arts. You didn't seem to enjoy the movie much. Vidal suddenly asks after we left. Huh? Oh. I guess I was just comparing the fight scene too much to fights in real life. What do you mean? I thought the fight was okay. Vidal. How do I explain this? I think it's best to start from the beginning. Come on, let's go to my house outside of the city. I can explain it there. I said as I grab her hand. You have a house outside of the city? Vidal said, a little surprised. Wait, how are we supposed to get there and back before dark? Don't tell me you want me to sleep over. Vidal tried to back away, but my grip was too strong for her to break out of. Don't be stupid. If I did anything like that, you're probably gonna hate me for it, and I want you to like me. I reply, causing her to stop trying to break away. Besides, I have a quick way to get there and back. What is it? Do you have a jet? Vidal asks, still a little suspicious. Better. I smile, then run toward an alley where people can't see us. Now, you're probably going to be confused, freak out, or something along those lines, so I want you to get ready and prepare, I said seriously. What? What are you going to do? Vidal. You'll see. I then focus on a seal outside of my house. You might want to close your eyes for now. As Vidal closes her eyes, I use my magic to teleport us to the seal. Okay, you can open them now. Vidal opens her eyes, and as they opened, they just keep getting wider and wider, making me chuckle a bit. Looking around in high alert, she asks, what's going on? Where are we? Relax, relax, I told you before that you'll be confused. Anyway, let me explain a little. This is my home. I point at the house and training chamber. And I teleported us here. I then start to explain to her about ki and magic. At first, she didn't want to believe it, but as she just experienced being teleported, she has no choice but to believe it. Is that why you are so strong? 'Cause you can use ki and magic. Vidal. Yes. You can use ki for a lot of things. Including boosting your overall combat ability like speed, strength, and power. I grab a rock and easily crush it. Shoot the ki out in an energy blast. I gather a bit of ki in my hand and shot it at a bigger rock on the side, destroying it. Or you can even use it to fly. I said as I levitate a few inches above grounds. As for magic, well, it's magic. I still don't understand much about it. That looks awesome, Vidal said, clearly excited at the prospect of using ki and magic. Can I learn it? She asks. Sure, it's why I brought you here. You already reached the peak of what people can do in martial arts without ki, so it should be easy for you to learn it. Really? She asks with stars in her eyes. Yes, now let's get started on the first lesson. I then instruct her on how to sense the ki within herself and how to bring it out. Like it was shown in DBZ, she was able to easily bring out her ki into a small ball of energy, but due to her getting too excited, she stopped supplying ki and the ball fade. I continue to teach her about the basics of ki until the sun starts to set and we have to stop. I can see that she didn't want to stop, so I promise her that I would teach her more the next days and on weekends. Before I send her back though, I managed to give her the bracelet I bought and told her about the seal I put on it. I told her that if she is ever in trouble, she could send a bit of key into the bracelet and I'll teleport to her. After giving her the bracelet, I teleport us back to her dojo. We talk for a bit more before we said goodbye and I teleport back to my house. Today is the last day of the school year. As the school comes to a close in March, the new school year begins next week in April. That also means Gohan will be coming to school here soon. By now Videl manages to increase her PL to over 400. The reason it raises so fast is because I taught her a combination of King Kai and Crane style martial arts after she finishes the basic. With someone to guide her, she was able to improve way beyond her original strength. It wasn't all thanks to me though. Videl herself is very talented. After all, she was already capable of beating her dad who won the 24th tournament, before she even starts training in Ki. She would have been stronger if I didn't have to explain and train her in the basics before starting the more advanced training. I also told her about power level and bought a basic scouter that can measure up to 10,000 PL. Unlike the regular scouter, this one has the benefit of blowing up in your face when measuring a power that went over the limit. Instead, the PL will just show an error. Videl can also sense people's PL without the scouter, but she still uses it so she can have a better understanding PL. While training, she did ask what my PL was and just for fun I show a PL of 9001, shocking her. It shocks her even more when I said that 9001 isn't even my max PL. She also found out her dad's PL, which is about 80 to 90. Because of that, she figured out that he isn't the savior of Earth that he was making himself out to be. When she asked me about it, I told her what happened and it's safe to say she felt disappointed in her dad. I told her father was helping the people who defeated Cell because they don't want to be known as they don't like the trouble it'll bring. I have to make sure she doesn't grow to dislike her father after all, though I doubt she will even if I didn't say anything. As for my own training. Name, Seru Ken, Ken Lee. System name, Oracle. Race, Frost Demon, Scion, Namekian, Human. Sex, Male. Age, 18. Zenkai, 0. Power level. Base, 2.8 billion. Perfect, 28 billion. Skills. Magic. New, Shapeshifting. New, Eidetic Memory, Photographic Memory. New, Heal. New, Full Heal. New, Potential Unlock. Traits. Even with just basic training, I managed to reach 28 billion at my full power. Talk about overpower talent. I mean Vegeta is considered very talented. But he trains for as much as he can during the 7 years between Cell and Bu, and his base PL only went from around 30 million to 90 million. It seems Dr. Gero really did create the perfect warrior, or it could just be Frieza's talent. I wonder if Vegeta will die from anger if he ever knows this. Nah, but he might just reach SS2 with all that anger, hehe. As for my EP, let's just say I have more than enough to buy everything that doesn't require GEP and leave it at that. With the EP, I brought the Magic Heal and Full Heal. Heal does exactly what it said. Full Heal on the other can help people regrow limbs. I brought them in case an accident happens when I'm training Videl. I also brought the Potential Unlock ability. Namekian Guru version, not the old Kai version. I bought it so I can unlock Videl's potential if she ever reaches a bottleneck during training. The old Kai's potential unlock takes too long and is embarrassing, so I didn't even bother buying it. I also managed to get closer to Videl in this time. We even went on a couple more dates when we were taking breaks from training or when Videl wasn't helping the police. I forgot Videl was doing that. When I found out, I went around helping her deal with thugs and criminals in the city. Unlike Gohan, I didn't care if my identities were found out, so people were able to figure out my public identities easily. With how often we are seen fighting crime together, the public and media took to calling us the power couple, much to the anger of a certain Mr. Satan, even if we are not officially together yet. Videl's friends. I guess they are my friends now too, is always teasing us about it. Except for Sharpener, he still doesn't like me much, but I think he figured out that he can't beat me as he doesn't try to one-up me at everything anymore. Even if we went on a few dates, we never confirmed what our relationship is. I have been thinking of asking her to be my girlfriend but never found a good time to do so. I decide the time to do so would be today, as today is the day I turn 18. If I'm not mistaken, Videl should be 18 this year too, though I still need to find out when her birthday is. Maybe I should ask Erasa. After school like usual, Vidal and I make our way to my house for training. Like usual, we reach a place where no one was looking. I teleport us to my house. Vidal. I said seriously. Yes? She asked, hearing the seriousness in M's voice. Well, I was wondering. I pause, getting a little nervous trying to think of what the best way to say this. I was wondering if you would like to be my girlfriend. I finish with a red face. Vidal stops to process what I said for a few seconds before her face heats up too. I don't mind. She answers. Really? I asked excitedly. Yes. She replies, embarrassed. Yes. I shout, making her jump. Oops, sorry for scaring you. It's just, well, best birthday ever. I said, surprising her again, but this time for a different reason. Today's your birthday. Why didn't you tell me? I could have brought you something. Vidal. You don't have to. I quickly reply and pull her into a hug. I already got the best gift right here, making her face even redder than before, though I didn't see it this time. After calming down, I ask, so when are we telling everyone else, making her red again? Can we not? She asks. Sure, but they are our friends. They will notice, so it'll be better if we tell them rather than them finding out. Okay, how about when school start, she said weakly. I'm okay with that, it should give us time to get used to the changes. She nodded at that. Though I'm sure not much will change, except maybe I'll do this more often. I said, confusing her. Do what? Vidal. This, I reply, pulling her in for a hug before lowering my face down and kiss her on the lips, surprising her. A second later, she wraps her arm around me and leans into the kiss more as we stay like that for what seems like an eternity. While I didn't need to breathe, she still needs air, so I stopped the kiss to let her catch her breath. After her mind caught up to what happened, she went bright red again before glaring at me and hits me softly on the arm. Softly, as with enough force that it'll knock a full-grown man out cold. But that is still considered soft because of our training. Don't ever do that again. Vidal. I might or I might not. I tease her, making her glare at me. Alright. I won't do it anymore. I stop before saying, in front of other people, hee, and run away into the training room. Vidal runs after me, trying to hit me after she hears what I just said. With that, I decided to start her training for today with this game of tag. When the training ended, she wasn't angry about the surprise kiss anymore, so I took her hand and teleport her back to the dojo. It has become our meeting point for when we want to do some training or just hang out. Saying goodbye, I give her a quick peck on the lips before teleporting away. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.